How many torpedoes they put in on them old boats?
Well, we had 10. Well, the Tambor was the first submarine to have 6 tubes forward and 4 tubes aft. And then we carried 24 torpedoes of the regular size ones. Normally, if it was a 9 or 10,000 ton ship, you'd far spread of 3 torpedoes at it. If it was a smaller than that, you probably would blow out 1 or 2 torpedoes.
Kim told me he thought he knew the
But the main thing that was wrong most of the time, you couldn't get them blame torpedoes to explode. They had a false firing pin on the thing. So when it hit the side of the ship, it's supposed to make that torpedo blow up. If they'd blow up, but they'd blow a hole in the ship, you could drive a car through. But so much of the time, they had faulted. They never did figure out whether somebody was intentionally making the things to where that they wouldn't explode, or whether they just hadn't learned how to do the thing.
And we were all locking all the doors, making sure kids didn't go to the back window down there to our house.
And Eugene Fluckey was one of the guys that, before he got to be the captain on a submarine, he's one of the guys that had figured out what to do and how to do to make the torpedoes explode. And it took them forever and eternity to get to the point where when you blow one out and got a hit for it to explode. And then they had problems getting them to run at the depth they ought to. Every once in a while you'd blow out a torpedo and the thing would go right under the bottom of the ship and go till it hit the shore or something and explode when it hit the shore, because they'd set up to run 10-foot depth. The thing was probably running 20 or 30-foot depths.
No, because Kim had just driven up and they saw him.
Well, how far would they run?
And I didn't see that.
They'd run.
And then they backed up and I think they went down the people across the street.
Well, if it got to be above 4,000 yards, well, that was about as far as you could, what you wanted to do if you could was to get in somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 yards to fire your torpedoes.
You have to be within a mile of it.
Yeah. But it would run that much. See, that torpedo would run a lot faster than most of the boats that you were shooting at. That thing would, them old steam-operated torpedoes would get up and go. Now, the electric torpedoes would not run near that fast, but they'd get up, and when you'd blow one out the tube at 1,500 yards, in about 40 seconds, it'd be there to where you'd want it to go.
How could it heat up that quick to make did you ignite the alcohol in them before you fired them? Or?
They armed them, when you blow them out of the tube, well, it had some levers. It'd push a lever on that torpedo and would activate the torpedo, and it would have to run something like 300 or 400 feet, or 300 or 400 yards before it would arm itself.
What I was talking about was, creating steam. It takes a little while to...
Not with alcohol.
Well, now, I'll tell you, I wasn't no torpedo man. I didn't know nothing about that, but that thing would take, when you'd blow the thing out of the tube with the compressed air, and when it hit the water a running. And see what you do with the torpedoes you already had in your tube. Well, you had inner doors and outer door, and before they got ready to shoot, they'd say, open the outer doors, and they'd equalize the sea pressure on the thing, and then you had a thing there where when they said fire one, well, you hit a thing down there and it turned a tremendous amount of compressed air behind it, and it'd blow that thing out there and give it a start, and of course, that alcohol had that thing running. I don't understand all about that. but it'd have it running before you got.
Actually, but then, like.
And then your battery operated one, of course, was just, they operated off them little old batteries that had something looked like car batteries sitting in there.
Mm-hmm. Getting left in mom.
That's the weirdest thing, I'm telling you. I said I was just left at telling folks I was from Texas.
It's good, I don't have to go through it too much, I count them constantly while, I have.
Yeah, one time, what Kelly got amused at me talking about, that we'd run into a little convoy out there, and the thing had two merchant ships and a destroyer there. And we sunk the two merchant ships, and that left the destroyer without the thing to do. And we was in, well, we called it shallow water. We wasn't in but 150 feet of water, and we'd run away from that guy. We'd try to find a cold layer of water to get under, so when he'd ping on us, it'd ricochet off the pings would. And after a while, the captain says, well, what we gonna do? It says rig in the sound head and the thing that measures the speed of your sub when it was running. You had a sword arm there that stuck down there that would give you your speed. They rigged them in and says we're gonna layer on the bottom. They come to all stop and then begin to flood some of the negative tanks and some of that. And we just eased her down, set her on the bottom. Well, here come that sub across there, and I guess he figured out pretty close when he dropped a few depth charges. I mean, just close to us. So after a while, he'd give up on us and left. And when he give up on us and left, well, it was time for us to come back to the surface. Well, they began to blow tanks, and we blowed the tanks. Anything was stuck, he stuck in the mud down there. I guess because we dropped some depth charges pretty close to us, and it just squished us down in the mud. So after a while, the captain says, well, everybody stand by, says, we're gonna shake it a little bit with the screws. And so he give all the heads so-and-so to make the screw shake. And when we come loose from the bottom, we was just like a cork. We just shot to the top up there. If it had been a plane up there, we'd have been out of luck. But there wasn't nothing up there. It finally shook loose when he turned the screws over on the thing. That gives you a funny feeling when they said blow certain tanks or the ballast tanks, which made us lighter than the water we was in. And you could tell we wasn't moving, we wasn't going up, doing nothing. And they blowed another tank, they blowed another tank, they blowed another, but we still just sitting there.